I grew up in a family, a typical suburban family right here in Havertown, actually, right down the street where my mom still lives. And no God, no, the word Jesus didn't exist, God didn't exist, nothing. There was just no religion, no spirituality, very dry to dryness. You know, my father worked for Boeing, made decent money. My mom's a school teacher, was a school teacher. Two older brothers and an older sister. I'm the youngest of four. And yeah, so my parents split at 7. My father was an alcoholic, and my mother was straight and narrow. So when her mother passed away, she took over her home where she currently resides here, right 3 blocks away, and we all moved there, except for my one brother. But yeah, so I went here to Haverford Township School District, volunteered as a firefighter, had an after-school job at a catering company, and that took up all my weekends and a lot of my afternoons. So my social life was very deprived. So it was basically schoolwork to firehouse, that was it. And then I got my wisdom teeth pulled at, I think it was 17. So I was prescribed Percocet for the pain for that. And my brother, my oldest brother, he was involved with drugs at the time. And he asked me to give him some. And I had no clue what Percocet did, no clue about drugs or anything. And I think I must have given him some, and he told me to try a couple of, you know, and more than just one is prescribed, and I did, and I loved the feeling. So it wasn't long after that, at 17 years old, where I was in West Philadelphia, about 12 minutes from here to 52nd and Lancaster, with a needle in my arm, you know, shooting heroin, cocaine, doing burglaries, thefts, forgeries, anything to get money, in and out of the county jail, in and out of countless rehabs, I mean, countless. Moved to New Jersey, Cape May County, to a 3-quarter Oxford house, and stayed clean for a while down there. Then just one day I was sitting on the beach, got up, took the bus to Philadelphia, and, you know, back at it again. And yeah, so I basically depleted everything that I had, you know, on this run. Like, I had no money, no job, left the Oxford house, nothing, just nowhere to go, nothing, just sleep on the street type thing. So I slept in a little abandoned medium in West Philadelphia, a little abandoned house, and right there, 52nd and Jefferson, which is now a Lowe's and a big industrial complex, shopping center. But yeah, so on that run, I ended up in North Philadelphia. So yeah, so I was up in North Philadelphia. I found a place at Temple University called Speakerman Hall. And I figured speakers, musical instruments, I can take them and sell them at pawn shops. That was my thing. But I went in there and it wasn't. There was really no speakers. It was just a classroom teaching professor type, whatever you want to call it, student education center. But there was a gentleman in an office, about maybe 12 by 12 foot office. And I went in and I said, I want your money. And he said, I don't have any cash. And I looked at him, he had a nice watch on, nice chain and stuff. I said, so I went out and I left the office and I picked up a 2x4. They were doing indoor construction. The 2x4 I later learned during court that had nails in it, and I did not know that. But I went back into the office and I demanded his money. He's like, okay, here. He threw 3 $20 bills on the ground, and I picked up the 320s, and I'm like, I'm just gonna kill him. That way he can't call the police or anything. So I swung after his head, hit him in the head 3 times, and on the 3rd swing, he grabbed the board and was able to get it from me, which is a great thing because I wouldn't be sitting here where I'm at today. So yeah, so I ran, I made it out the building maybe 1 block, and Temple Police, Philadelphia Police, I probably had 10, 15 guns to my head in a matter of 3 minutes. To 10 to 20 years for that. I gave back 1 to 2 on an appeal, so basically 9 to 18 years I did. I started going to Catholic Mass in the county jail up in Pick, Philadelphia Industrial Correctional Center. It's one of the worst ones, I believe, if not CFCF. And I went upstate after a year and a half being on trial. And once I got upstate, I started going to Mass again. I'm like, I kind of like this. Let me see what this is about. RCIA program. And I was given a book, a little thin book, maybe 40, 50 pages. And it was so simple. It was like, this is a chalice, this is a tabernacle, this is a monstrance, which I never really learned. So I was very poorly catechized, like severely poorly catechized. And so, yeah, I became Catholic. I was received into the church Easter 2003. about baptism, confirmation, and first communion up in state prison in Mahanoy. So I became, entered the faith and just became bored with it after about 5 years into it. So I stopped going to mass. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just getting in a line, following others, eating this little piece of bread at a host. So I'm like, this is it. I'm done with it. So, and I did. So I stopped going. So I did 11 years and 8 days total. So that was through Pennsylvania, and I had a probation violation out of New Jersey. So I was extradited to Jersey, did a little time there, and I went home 11 years, 8 days. And when I went home, I came here to Havertown, back to my mom's house. I was 33. Went away at 22, came home at 33. I want everything back. I want a girlfriend. I want a job. I want a car. I want my own place. I want everything, and I want it now. I just did all this time. I want everything back. Well, it doesn't happen like that. After 10 months of being home, I relapsed again on drugs. Got caught up in this thing on a Saturday morning and went back for 1 year. So I did 11 years, 8 days. I'm home 10 months, and here I am back in state prison on a parole violation. I'm like, come on, Rob. This is so disappointing to my family, myself. I'm sick of my stomach. What's going wrong? Let me just figure this out. So I ended up going back to a Catholic mass. And outside the chapel there that they use for all denominations was it's a shelf full of literature, and this one booklet had a nun on there with a stare. So for about 3 weeks, I kept walking past it, and finally I grabbed it and took it back to my cell. I'm like, I wonder what this is about. It was a novena to Saint Therese, and so ever since then, God used her to intervene. And I started learning everything I could about the Catholic faith. I would write down the Our Father, the Hail Mary, Act of Contrition, just little prayers. I'd go to the yard and just walk around the track and just recite them, just memorize them and recite them verbally to myself. I finished up my year on the parole violation. I had to go to a Department of Corrections ran halfway house called KINTZELL'S at B and Erie. Yeah, so as soon as I went in there, they have a little library. Of all the books they have in a little library in a halfway house in North Philadelphia, they had the Catechism, the Catholic Church, the little $9.99 one that's blue with white and gold trim lettering. So I picked it up and I studied it and learned and read, and just one of my first passes was to St. Veronica's, and I went to mass there. I think 6 or 6:30 in the morning. It was early on a weekday, and one of my other trips was on a bus from the halfway house to the Carmelite Monastery. Just rang on her doorbell. And so we talked for a good little bit, and she gave me her blessing, welcomed me back, and which I've gone back and numerous times for various things. And I ended up doing telemarketing in South Philadelphia, so St. Rita's became my first place. So that's what that was. That was part-time, and then I took a job in Old City at Donardo's Crabs as a busboy, and finally went back to my mom's house. She had me back here in Havertown, so I'd take the Mark of Frankfurtell to and from, get off at St. John the Evangelist, where I made my first real confessional. The confessional doors there, I held it open for the next guy that was going in. I'm like, I don't know what to do. You hold it open? I don't know. Now I just know you just go out and just go about your business. But I specifically held it for this guy. And after I I think my penance was 10 Hail Marys, might have been in the back there with the Our Lady of Lourdes. So afterward, I felt this little tapping on my shoulder. It was a guy that I held the door for. He gave me a scapular with this information on the Blessed Mother and St. Joseph. And I just broke my scapular. It was ironic. He was like, thanks for holding that door open for me. And I still have this stuff at home, this information. Part of my trip was exploring the city, going to different Catholic churches, and the cathedral was one of them. First time in the cathedral. I was blown back. I'm like, this place is huge. It takes me forever to get from one side to the other. And I ended up, from there, I ended up taking this job with a marble floor restoration company. So I worked for the Coco family St. Jude shop, right down the street. It's right on the street. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. They sell all religious articles, statuary, church goods. They do church renovations. They sell everything, really. Missals, books, everything Catholic. So I took a job there in 2015, which was the year the Pope came. Mm-hmm. So I took a job selling religious articles, and they opened up a little store in the cathedral shop. It's to the right of the main altar there, the sanctuary, to the right in the corner there. and they needed somebody to run it. And I was the perfect person. Single, no kids, I can do weekends. And that's what it was, a weekend thing and a Wednesday thing. So I took that, built that cathedral store up, and here I am, like looking in the cathedral a couple of years prior, like this place is huge. Next thing you know, I have keys to it. I'm like, this is just crazy. Like how I'm being used like a total hardcore drug addict, sinner, homeless guy on the street, and here I am. Like, it's just amazing how he does these things, like in St. Therese and all that stuff. And so I worked there for the St. Jude shop for about 4.5 years with the cathedral. And yeah, so this job here popped open as sexton Monday through Friday, weekends off, decent pay, medical, the whole 9 yards. And so I took this job here, and you know, I catechized myself just by going to mass, working at the St. Jude shop, being around priests, other people, selling religious articles, learning about the saints, selling the same monstrance that I had no clue what it was at St. Veronica's not long before. Here I am in charge of the maintenance here at Annunciation. Yeah, so that's my story. Right now I feel great. I mean, I'm like everyone. There's hard times. There's times you struggle. There's times you fall back, and it's just like Jesus, you know, you fall and you have to get up. You have to keep getting up. Blessed Sacrament, receiving communion, probably about 6 days a week, sometimes 7, and frequent confession. The confession, it's just so powerful. I mean, at least twice a month. Like, I don't want anything. I don't want the riches of the world. I'm not attracted to the boats and the this, that, you know, all the stuff that people love, and guns and whatever else it may be, and trips here and trips there. I have a 1-bedroom apartment. My little dog Newman, after St. John Newman, he's out here actually. I have a great job. It's enough to pay the bills. My Father Cox has become a great friend, and the Catholic faith is so beautiful because it's the sacraments. The sacraments that we have are so freeing. So what I would have to say to younger people, or anybody, it doesn't matter, young or adults, anybody who's mixed up in the game, so to speak, out there drinking, drugging, or sinning, or whatever you're caught up in, whatever addictions really. There are other people too that you're out there with. They're not going to save you. You know, only Jesus can save. Only Jesus forgives, and you'll never get this time back. So if you make the wrong mistake and you end up like me, going away for 11 years, and most of those people that go away for a long time, they don't ever come home and take the religion with them. They leave that back in the penal institutions. So I was very fortunate to be saved, really, and come to get to where I'm at now. And it's not overnight. It's a process that takes a long time, and it's just not worth it. Like, you're gonna give up your entire life, your future, your careers, your credit, your family, the potential of having kids, all for drugs or for alcohol or chasing addictions that will never fulfill you. It's temporary. They're temporary fulfillments, and at the end you feel good when it's going on, when you're getting high or you're getting drunk or whatever it is that you're doing, call it up your addiction. It feels good at the time, but however far up you go feeling good, when that's over with, when the party's over, you go that far south into a depression, and that once you're down there, it's so hard to get back up again. And through God and through the faith, the Catholic faith and the sacraments, you can certainly get through them, because I did. If I can, you can. It's just not worth it. It's an illusion. It really is. It's all an illusion. It's a waste of time, waste of money, waste of life. The man behind me, on the crucifix behind me, on the cross, and who's present in the tabernacle behind me, that's what gives us life, and eternal life, and fulfillment, and happiness, and peace of mind. So yeah, I am a completely different person.